hotel industry being the size that we see today, with so many hotels and resorts, literally, I think every small change can make a huge impact for our environment.
Hey, you guys, welcome to episode 13 of Sustainability Simplified, your bi monthly dose of how to seamlessly build an action oriented, sustainable, and profitable business. I am your host, Zitin, and today is World Environment Day. We have a special episode here. By the way, in the month of June, since this is World Environment Month, we will bring to you stories of entrepreneurs who are truly making a huge positive impact on the environment in their own way. Today, I'm in conversation with the young, bright, and dynamic Patricia Plesner, joining me all the way from Copenhagen. She's the founder of EcoHotels, a one stop online network of sustainable hotels. Welcome, Patricia. It's so wonderful to be talking to you today. How are you?
Hi, Sitin. I am doing great, and likewise, always nice to talk to you as well.
That's wonderful. So, how is the COVID situation back there in Copenhagen?
It's actually getting better. I think everything is going to open up around August, so Copenhagen, Denmark is ready for travelers at least.
That's wonderful. So I know where to go after COVID kind of becomes better this side.
Exactly, yes. So ready for you when you are.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great. So let's dive in. I'd love it if you can share a little bit about yourself, your journey of starting eco hotels in the middle of the pandemic last year.
I would love to. I was born here in Copenhagen, Denmark, but I've always loved to travel. And besides spending most of my years in Denmark, I've also lived in the US for a few years.
Okay.
Absolutely loved it. So actually, the whole idea behind Eco Hotels started when my cousin Axel, he grew up in a hotel family. So he's been in the hotel environment his whole life,
Right.
where I've been mostly doing school.
Okay.
So he contacted me and said, hey, you know that hotels normally pay like an extreme amount in commission to like these big OTAs. And I was like, no, not really. That's interesting.
Right.
And then with a huge passion for sustainability, which we both always had, we started thinking about doing ecohotels.com. And since the trend for sustainable travel just grows and grows, ecohotels.com happened. So we're a booking site based on fair principles, low commissions, and then just true sustainability. So we only approve certified hotels. That's our way of ensuring that we don't go into anything that's near greenwashing.
Absolutely. That's such an important cause. And really, kudos to you and your cousin and the entire team at Eco Hotels.
Thank you so much.
That's wonderful. So, you did answer this kind of briefly in the previous response, but if you can tell us a little bit more about, like you mentioned, your family has been in the hotel industry. What got you really, into the domain of sustainable hotels specifically?
Well, personally, I've traveled most of the world with my family, and I've experienced so many times. I've been on trips where people, this can be people cleaning the hotels, people working in the restaurants, how these just hardworking employees receive low salaries, how some hotels have a lot of food waste, some even throw trash in the ocean,
Yeah.
mass produced water systems, all these things that should and could be changed.
Yeah.
So we don't believe that this should be our future when traveling for hotels, especially because these hotels prior to the pandemic actually had money enough to change their operations, but no really need to do so. So I'm really hoping that eco hotels can be a way for hotels that are not yet sustainable
Right.
to become sustainable. So that was our like main interest in the beginning.
Right, right, absolutely. So, you did briefly also mention about, you take on only certified hotels. So, can you tell us a little bit more about, let's say, the business model of eco hotels? Because then you have on one side, many hotels trying to come onto your platform, and then of course there are travelers who need to be made aware about platforms such as yours, right? So that they can make more sustainable choices. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So I think we're going to go for volume. We would like to accept all hotels in the world that are certified. Right now, we have around 250 hotels live on our site.
Brilliant.
And then we're experiencing this increased demand from hotels or for hotels in the US, Canada, Spain, just to mention a few countries.
Right.
So I think our focus is to expand worldwide, but we also just existed for a little over a year. So we're doing slow and steady growth.
Okay.
I do believe within next year we'll have many more hotels on our site. And then we can also just Google how the trend search for sustainable hotels are growing. So I know there's a market. We just need to be able to get the clicks to our website. That is everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Totally agree. You did mention about certified hotels. So could you mention names of certain certifications that you accept, just for our listeners' knowledge?
Yes, in the beginning, I started talking a lot to GSTC, called Global Sustainability Tourism Council. And that's an organization that has helped us a lot in the beginning. And they have a bunch of certification sites around the world. This can be certification sites such as Green Globe, Green Key, Biosphere, Travel Life, Tough Tigers in India. So all these hotels or certification sites, they do audits. So they go visit the hotel to ensure that it is truly sustainable.
Right.
So this is everything from salaries, fair terms for the employees, waste,
Yeah.
light bulbs. It can be anything. So this is our way of ensuring it. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it takes an entire value chain approach, right from the beginning to the end. So it's definitely much more holistic. So thanks for sharing that.
Mhm.
Coming to something that's more current, and this is what we had also started talking about early on, we know how the travel industry has actually been quite negatively impacted as a result of the pandemic and subsequent lockdowns, restrictions, etc. How has that, and maybe any other challenges, how have those affected the setup and running of eco hotels?
Well, we are experiencing that a lot of hotels are actually closed down. So this makes it a bit hard for us to reach the hotels, offering them to be live and bookable on ecohotels.com.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're experiencing how the pandemic has just crashed the tourism industry.
Right.
So a lot of hotels are looking for new ways and new sales channels. So this is a good thing as well.
Yeah.
And then being a startup and being a tech startup, we have liked to have a year where tourism have been paused a bit, just for our website to grow and for us to make the changes we wish to make.
Absolutely, absolutely. Pretty brilliantly put, actually. So there's both a positive aspect and a negative aspect, of course. So shifting gears a bit, is there something special in store at Eco Hotels that we might keep an eye on in the coming months?
Yes, well, right now I'm focusing a bit or a lot on expanding, so reaching hotels in the US and Canada simply because the demand is there. At the same time, we're also looking into the possibilities of creating an ecohotels.com app, but maybe that will be live in a few months or so, maybe in a year. We'll see how fast we are.
Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. Absolutely. An app would be quite apt in that sense, because it'll give easier access to both travelers as well as hotels who want to kind of onboard onto the ecohotels.com platform. Great. Fantastic. So any advice that you might like to give to our listeners who might be interested in this space?
Well, of course, my advice would be to check out ecohotels.com when booking your next trip.
Yeah.
But either way, it's so important that when people go travel, that they look into the hotel they want to stay at and the hotel's sustainable initiatives. Because this is the only way that we can actually change sustainability in the travel environment.
Right.
And the more demand for sustainable accommodations, the more hotels, big or small, will at some point change their operations. The hotel industry being the size that we see today, with so many hotels and resorts, literally, I think every small change can make a huge impact for our environment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well put. Definitely every small change can really make a huge impact. So on another note, how could listeners really reach out to you and Eco Hotels if they wish to know more?
Well, I have a wonderful marketing team. So people can reach Eco Hotels on Instagram and LinkedIn, and I'll make sure that all messages directed to me will be sent my way. And then I'll, of course, take the time to read, come back. Love receiving feedback because I think this is the only way we can continuously improve.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Great. So that was quite a lot of information packed into one episode, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners would have understood a lot more about the sustainable hotel industry. And many of them may also be motivated to start and continue their journey of building and growing purposeful businesses like yours. So thank you so much, Patricia, for your time. Um, I'm sure everybody would have learned a lot, and definitely I did as well. So thanks a ton. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope you're right. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you so much for listening. And if you liked this podcast, feel free to share it in your network. My one takeaway from today's episode was every small change helps to make a huge impact. And definitely supporting small sustainable startups are key to making a change. I would love to hear your key takeaway from today. Do share it with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You will find me there on @Zitin Munshi. That's @ZitinMunshi. Also, do get in touch with us at Next Mile Co. if you'd like to explore how your business can dial up the sustainability quotient profitably. You will find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram on @NextMileCo. That's @NextMileCo. Until next time.